Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I haven't uploaded in like months, but I'm back now. Yeah, here to yap. I was gonna come back last month with a video like this, but I saw that Brad Taste in Music had dropped a video of the exact same concept right when I wanted to, so I was like, nah, never mind. And also, I just barely listened to shit last month. But I'm here now. I listened to some albums this month, and I'm gonna talk about the ones that I did. You guys can call me a Brad Taste clone or whatever, because we're going to do the same format where he did. We're going to go with the worst albums I heard this month all the way to the best albums, and we're going to be focusing on the ones that released this month too. At the end I will throw in some like older records that I listened to. So yeah, let's get into it right now with the first album.
Jesus Christ, Hitler, yay!
Yeah, this was easily the worst album I heard this month. I didn't really enjoy this one at all. Putting aside everything that Kanye said, we are going to focus just on the music. Right now, we are just talking about the music, not as Kanye as a person. While I do disagree with everything he has recently said, and I think he's pretty terrible, we're not going to address any of that right now. We're just talking about the music. The music sucks. This thing has far and away the worst Kanye performances on like any project that he's been a part of. You have some of the worst singing I have heard him do, and just some of the worst verses he has dropped on songs like Hood Rat. Awful interpolations and weird voices that just do not work at all on songs like Paid and Fuck Some. And goddamn dude, that what's that Back to Me like verse or whatever the hell it is just like, what was he thinking? And I've heard people talking about that verse being like, oh, it's just a joke, he's just being silly. When you're making a joke or you're trying to be like funny, you usually don't repeat that joke 7 times in a row. Also, this album just has like no direction at all. I've heard people being like, oh, it's just like a fun album. You know what albums are fun? The College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation. Those albums are fun and they have direction. This album, it just goes nowhere. And even then, it is just not a very creative album at all. Like, nothing on this album hasn't been done before much better, even by Kanye himself. And while I do have some good things to say about this album, Ty Dolla $ign's performances were all pretty good. The Freddie Gibbs feature on that one song, Back to Me, was pretty good. The song Do It is really good. I really enjoy that one. But goddamn, this thing is just so held back by Kanye himself. And yeah, it's just almost unlistenable. It's just like listening to this thing, I'm like, what was he thinking? Luckily though, I don't think this album will have any like staying power. A lot of these songs I can not imagine being played in any setting other than like Carnival, which is already kind of popping off right now. So yeah, luckily I can just forget that this dumpster fire exists pretty soon. That's about it I gotta say about that one.
My name is Kane. I am your bitch.
Yeah, I watched this show, wanted to see what it was about. It's a musical. I'm a music person. Why the fuck not? I have a lot of criticisms about the show itself, but what I will say is that the music is not bad. Yes, there are some very cringy lines. Some of the songs are just cringy. But you know what? This thing has some good songs on it. Some of the songs kind of go. They kind of go hard. First off, everything on this thing is like very well produced. All the vocal performances are really good. I'm pretty sure like most of these people on here are like actual Broadway singers, so the performances are going to be good no matter what. The main complaints really just kind of come down to the songwriting, which compared to the writing of the show, yeah, they're both hit or miss. Sometimes they're just really cringy. But then there are just some like absolute bangers like A Stayed Gone and Loser Baby or You Didn't Know. So yeah, it's a decent album. It's a decent listen. If you haven't watched the show, I probably wouldn't recommend it because it probably makes 0 sense. I don't even know if I could recommend the show though, because it's kind of just okay. But if you want to watch it, go ahead. Some of the songs are kind of good. Yeah, next album. Okay, going into albums that I actually like enjoyed and that I would call great, we got Prelude to Ecstasy by The Last Dinner Party. Debut album, and yeah, I can see a bright future for this band because this thing is just full of bops. It's just like really good indie rock, a lot of catchy tunes on here. Caesar on a TV Screen has been stuck in my head since I've listened to this thing. You have some more emotional ones like Nothing Matters, and like the songwriting is just really good, the instrumentation is really good. It's all around just like a really solid album. While I don't know if I necessarily see this one, like, being super high on, like, a year-end list, it's just a really enjoyable listen, a really fun one. I would recommend it if you're into, like, indie rock and that stuff. It's really good. Check it out. I would recommend it heavily. Alright, next up is an album that I literally cannot stop listening to. This album is so goddamn catchy. It is just like, it's just awesome. Yeat 2093 is great. It is a great album. You know, a lot of artists and rappers, they try to do like this, like, oh, I'm like futuristic, I'm in the future, but it never really sounds like they are. This album does. This shit sounds like it was made in 2093, like the title suggests. God, man, the beats on this thing and the atmosphere is just so dark, and Yeat just does such a good job vocally to just complement those. Not only that, but these songs are just catchy as fuck. I cannot stop listening to Breed, Psycho CEO, You Should Know, I Love. God damn, this thing just bangs. Yeat is just like so far away from all of his contemporaries in this genre. It's actually insane. I never really thought I would say that, because I'm not a huge fan of Yeat's older stuff. I never really saw him going anywhere, but he exceeded my expectations by a long shot. I loved this thing. And look, it's a Yeat album. It's not like the most profound thing ever, but you know, it's still like genre bending. It's still pretty damn creative. Yeah, I don't really have a lot bad to say about it, you know, other than just some songs don't go as hard as some others, but yeah, overall, just a really good album. Chelsea Wolfe, She Reaches Out To, She Reaches Out To, She is the first Chelsea Wolfe album I've ever heard. I've actually had a couple of her older records on like my listen to list for actual like years now, and I just have never gotten to them. So I thought I'd take this opportunity to listen to a new album that she's dropping, because I've heard a lot of good things about it. And yeah, it was just really good, like overall, just a really consistent and great listen. Usually I don't listen to albums in this like dark wave genre because I find myself getting a little bit bored, a little bit distracted. Yeah, I'm not too good at paying attention. But this thing just kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. I was interested to see where each song went and just to hear, just like listen to them and just like take them all in. The industrial rock influences are also just really good on this thing. I love how dark and like grimy it is. I will definitely be checking out her older work, because I've heard some people say those are like better albums, and if they are, then goddamn, because I really enjoyed this one. Easily one of my favorites of the year so far.
That game's retired. Quadeca did it.
And lastly, for albums that dropped this month that I listened to, we got Quadeca, Quadeca is an artist who has been just going on like an upward spiral. I don't know if that's a saying, but his music has just been like raising in quality by every project, and this is just a perfect example of that. This thing is super creative all around, from the vocals to the instrumentation to the production. Quadeca continues to upgrade his singing and rapping skills. Songs like A La Carte, Way Too Many Friends, What's It to Him are really catchy while also just being like almost like mind-blowing, which might be an overstatement, you know. I might just be hyped up because this thing just dropped, but this thing is very, very creative. And it's just a mixtape. What is this guy gonna do on like his next full-length album? I'm very excited. So yeah, Quadeca, Scrapyard. Cannot wait to hear more Quadeca music. Never thought I'd be saying that one either. Yeat and Quadeca, two artists I just never thought I would enjoy as much as this. Okay, and that was it for albums that I listened to that came out this month. I only listened to 2 other ones that released outside, so we're gonna get through those really quickly. This self-titled Mass of the Fermenting DREGS album is pretty solid. Not like the craziest listen I've ever had. At some points I did find myself like kind of zoning out. I had never heard of this band before. I honestly don't even remember where I found this album. I just had it on my list and I decided to listen to it because it was short. But you know, it's really solid. Really good instrumentation, solid vocals. It's just a really solid album all around. If you want like a nice rock album, nice, short, and concise, take a listen. Go ahead and listen to this one. I would recommend it. It's just a solid, nice listen. Okay, and then the last one we're going to talk about, Earthling, David Bowie. I honestly have not heard any, like, 90s Bowie albums. This was the first one I've heard. And you know what? I really liked it. I don't know if I've been sleeping on 90s Bowie or if this is, like, the only good one he released, but it was really good. Bowie does drum and bass on this thing, and it slaps. It's just, like, it's just a fun listen, you know? Like, not the most, like, explosive David Bowie album, not, like, the most, like, thought-provoking, but there are just really good songs on this one. I loved Looking for Satellites and Dead Man Walking. Dead Man Walking is such a goddamn banger. I'm Afraid of Americans, though, was a miss. I'll say that one. But yeah, Bowie album that I never heard. Glad that I'm still discovering new shit about artists that I already like. Yeah, take a listen to this one if you haven't, because I feel like people don't really talk about the 90s Bowie stuff, and I don't know if a lot of people have even heard it that are, like, my age. But that's going to do it for this video. I'm sorry that my little talks about each album were kind of short. I will get better at that. But yeah, just trying something new with the channel. Hopefully you guys liked this video. Tell me what you thought about the albums in the comment section. Also, I obviously didn't listen to a lot of the albums that dropped this month, so if you have any in the comment section, please recommend them. I've heard a lot of people talking about that Ali X album, so I'll definitely check that one out. You know, maybe they'll be in next month's video. So yeah, hopefully I can upload more consistently. I really want to. But yeah, I will at least see you guys in a month. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Thank you. Goodbye.